and this act was in 2007. Basically, it's to protect, prosecute, prevent child and adult trafficking cases. NATIP is under the purview of the Ministry of Justice and with direct supervision of our able Honorable Solicitor General and Legal Secretary. I am happy to report to you that Gambia's NATIP is the second ECOWAS member state with a trafficking in persons agency.
The awareness raising tour began in Mandinaba, where NATIP officials held discussions with law enforcement officers and the Combo East community, introducing the agency's operations to the locals, who expressed gratitude for a timely advice which might help to stop traffickers in their tracks.
We're going to fight hard against this menace of TIP because it starts with an opportunity, a false promise for an opportunity which never materializes. And drug traffickers these days are moving slightly away from drug trafficking and concentrating more on trafficking in persons, because this is how they exploit children and adults and the vulnerable to make their own money. So it's a new form of a money-making venture.
For an elusive activity, examine and verify everything at the border post is NATIP's recommendation to security personnel.
Young girls, young Gambians are taken from the Gambia to other destinations where they are exploited. How does the exploitation manifest itself? They can exploit them sexually.
From Mandinaba, the tour party moved on towards the Gambia's border with Senegal in the south, visiting the police and immigration post in Djibouti, which is arguably one of the most critical entry points into the country. Here, officials advise security personnel on ways to detect child and human traffickers before traveling on to Dimbaya and Dasilame, both important settlements at the fringe of the country's boundary with Casamas. But why are police and border checkpoints being especially targeted for sensitization?
Studies have shown that these are the areas that are very prone to human trafficking. And then, besides even the Gambia, in other countries, most of the time the border points are the points that trafficking actually takes place. That notwithstanding, even within the country, there are some traffic movements there. But then studies have shown that human trafficking actually happens more at the border area. That's why we are targeting the joint security forces within the border area.
That's Police Commissioner Landin Kinte, the man driving affairs at the newly formed NATIP. A seasoned law enforcement officer and prosecutor, the NATIP boss told GRTS he believes more in preventing crimes than trials.
Recently we visited Senegal, and then we were informed that that collaboration is long overdue, because Senegal want to learn from Gambia with regards to how we are able to eliminate child begging in the streets of the Gambia. And they are so keen. They said it happened that we made the first move, but left them alone. They are the ones that would have wanted to make the first move. So they want to collaborate with us also in the fact that the Gambia succeeded in eliminating child trafficking, that is child begging in the streets. But then they are also facing the effects of the eradication of child begging in the Gambia, in the sense that most or some of the kids that are in the streets of Senegal happen to be from Gambia and some neighboring countries within West Africa.
And rehabilitating victims of trafficking is much more expensive and demanding than prevention, according to Social Welfare's Child Adoption and Placement Officer Per Jata. Police Child Welfare Officer Lamin Sedikan believes even within communities and cultured societies, child and human trafficking can take other unsuspecting forms. Everyone has to be involved in the crusade, Sedikan emphasized, whilst noting the impact of community policing in stalling criminals.
Well, Child Fund has a project called Protect Project, and that's prevention and response to child trafficking in the Gambia. This is funded by the State Department of America, and the project is 2 years. It's a pilot project. We try to strengthen capacities of partners, that's law enforcement, the army, the social workers, so that they can identify trafficked children and come to their rescue.
Previous interventions saw the formation of Community Child Protection Committees, or CCPCs, which proved helpful in reporting cases. That was a CCF scheme organized to exert swift action in the right direction when cases are cited. In the latest of such cases, 63 children were intercepted by the Immigration Department. Found on the streets, officials had to quickly relocate the group for rehabilitation. Street begging is the most popular form of trafficking, but amid a prohibition which proved successful in the country, perpetrators could be looking for new turf, which means only collaborative efforts can pay off against a 21st century phenomenon devastating lives in vast numbers.
So what we normally do is we will intercept them, take them to immigration headquarters and interview them, screen them, take their statements and photos. After, we will send them to social welfare, shelter for the children at Bakote. At the end, what we normally do is we used to work hand in hand with the social welfare.
Now, a life sentence for perpetrators is a major disincentive advanced by a government, yet collective participation, joining forces against traffickers, is probably the shortest way to stop an enslaving crime, usually targeting women and children. Ibrahim Jata, GRTS.
The Early Childhood Development Association recently joined the rest of the country to celebrate the Gambia's 48th independence anniversary. The colorful event held at the July 22nd Square brought over 150 nursery schools within Banjul, Carnifing Municipality and the West Coast region. Abdullah Baji reports the National Day celebrations by the Early Childhood Development Association also witnessed a solidarity march by the students and teachers in support of President Jammeh.
Nursery school children to mark the Gambia's 48th-year independence anniversary, a month after the rest of the country celebrated the event. The event started with the Solidarity March Past from the Arch 22nd to July 22nd Square, expressing their love and support for President Jammeh. With over 150 nursery schools attending the independence anniversary and a pact, the children demonstrated what they usually see during the national celebrations. The event was witnessed by Infant President of Senegal, Macky Sall. The Liberian President, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was also represented by an infant, with another infant representing mother of the President, Adja Fatou Assombi Bojang, as well as the Vice President and a host of infant dignitaries depicting various head of government institutions. The arrival of the infant president, Sheikh Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya AJJ Jammeh, and First Lady led into the parade grounds by infant green youths running with energy marked an exciting beginning of the events of the July 22nd Square. A colorful march past by school children and teachers followed with the army band providing music. The young celebrants also took part in a cultural display. Addressing the celebrants, the infant president urged Gambians to stand for each other in order to develop the country. He also outlined the importance of children's education and something he says should be taken seriously. A reception was later hosted in honor of the infant president and delegates before the delegation departed for their various destinations. It was a day children took part in celebrations marking the Gambia's independence anniversary, and they did it their way and expressed some of their hidden talents during the celebrations. For GRTS News, I am Abdullah Baji.
Personnel of the Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources and their partners have held a day's inception forum marking the beginning of the development of a working document for the second phase of the Climate Change Early Warning Project. Momodu S. Jallo has the rest of the story.
The Gambia is ranked among the most vulnerable in climate-related problems, with a high rate of risk-related disasters like bushfires, floods, and others. The Ministry of Fisheries and Water Resources recently held a one-day synergy for the formulation of strengthening climate services and early warning systems in the Gambia Phase 2 project. The project seeks to better prepare Gambians to protect themselves through forecasting before an upcoming disaster. In developing the extension phase of climate change, stakeholders from all relevant sectors were gathered with the help of consultants to map out a way forward in addressing climate change through early warning systems. Momodu Jallo, a consultant, said that during the first phase, they identify what needs to be done, and now that they are coming with new ideas, he further outlined the early warning system is required by every sector, and they as much are to contribute to the targeted national project.
Agriculture, disaster management, livestock, everything needs to be put in that project, and the reason why you are here